Razaban for FightHype.com. With me, I've got head of Sky Sports Boxing, Mr. Adam Smith.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, thank you, Adam. Firstly, how are you, Adam?
I'm excited, as I'm sure you are. We all are. We got Gennady Golovkin in town. These things don't happen every day, do they? I mean, it was wonderful when Mike Tyson came over, Frank Warren brought him over to fight Julius Francis and Lou Savarese. There was a real sort of buzz in the air there. I remember when Floyd Mayweather came to the Peacock Gym and Manny Pacquiao to Fitzroy Lodge. These sort of special fighters that come over, and people want to be around them, don't they? I think it's a testament to the sport and where we are, what Eddie's done with British boxing. 14 world champions. They want to come to us. It's great. We nearly had Golovkin Eubank Jr. What have we got? A massive twist. We've got Kell Brook stepping in. The battle of the unbeatens. Is he big enough? Is he good enough? Dare to be great. I think it's fantastic he's taken the challenge. I think it's wonderful to have Golovkin here, and I think the event on Saturday night is going to be one of, if not the best of the year.
Eddie described the event yesterday as boxing porn. Are those the same words you would describe it as?
I wasn't very happy with him with Sky Sports News cameras there that he went down that road, but I would certainly say it's a terrific occasion. I mean, listen, we've had other great occasions already this year. We had over in the States, obviously, Carl Frampton beating Leo Santa Cruz. I thought that was a wonderful win. Last year, Fury beating Klitschko against the odds. Anthony Joshua winning the world title against Charles Martin at the O2, which has become his fortress. But AJ moves up north. AJ goes somewhere different this time. The O2's available September 10th, and you've got a fight. You've got a different story. You've got Gennady Golovkin against Kell Brook. And as I said, it's a two-way thing. We're welcoming the best fighter in the world, the great middleweight, the one who's won 345 of 350 amateur fights, who's unbeaten in 35 as a pro, 32 knockouts, 22 inside the distance in his last 22. Fearful, out of the ring. He's like a geography teacher, isn't he? Or maybe a history teacher. He couldn't be nicer, he couldn't be calmer, he couldn't be more respectful. Inside, he just is brilliant, and I think that's great to have him. But it's also fantastic that Kell Brook, after so long, has got this opportunity. Whether it's the right opportunity, we wait and see. But he's got that opportunity, and he's just wanted it, and he's had criticism for the opponents he's faced, and I think a little bit unfairly, because Kell's always wanted to be in these big fights. He looked up to Nassim Hamed, he saw what Naz did, he wanted to be part of that. Kell is made for a stage like this. Whether he wins the fight is another thing, but he's made for a stage like that, and I'm really pleased he's got the opportunity.
Adam, let's go back a couple of weeks. We were so close to seeing Eubank Jr. and Triple G.
Yeah.
You lead Sky Sports. One of your main roles is to put these fights together. Big shows, big nights. Stylistically, would you have preferred Eubank? Now we've got Brook, but would you have preferred Eubank? But were you disappointed overall?
I always say that it's not our job as broadcasters to make the fights. That's the promoter's job. That's Eddie's job. But Eddie and I work very, very closely together. We speak every day, many times. Look, I have a lot of faith in what Eddie's doing. I think that he's got a great eye for this. He comes up with these great stories, not always his own. Like Amir Khan and going up against Canelo was a great twist as well. Didn't work out for Amir, but it was an amazing story when it happened. Listen, I would love to see Chris Eubank Jr. in the ring with Gennady Golovkin. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is a wonderful fighter, a great talent. I love the hype around him with his dad and the whole story. It's box office, isn't it? It's great. But for whatever reason, the fight didn't come off. The terms weren't agreed, and you've got to move on. Otherwise, we may have lost the chance of getting Gennady Golovkin here. He offered Kell Brook the fight, and Eddie called me up straight after Kell had accepted it. I think he took 5 seconds to accept it, and he said, "Adam, are you sitting down?" And I said, "No, I'm rushing around as usual, as I'm sure you are." And he said, "I've done something a bit different. Kell's going to fight Golovkin." And I went, "Wow. Let's get it on." Why not? Dare to be great. This is what they're in it for. Kell wants to test himself against the very best. Yeah, we thought it might be a welterweight. We thought it might be a light middle. It's not. It's not even against a middleweight. It's against the middleweight, the man. It doesn't get any harder or more exciting than this.
It's very unique for a top level, prime level fighter to come to the UK and defend his belt and fight, and Golovkin's taken upon that challenge. Where would this rank if Brook could pull off this victory on Saturday?
I think that's a really good point, and Eddie took me up on it earlier, because I said, it reminds me of sort of Tyson, Kostas Siu and Jeff Lacey and all those guys coming over. But actually, you're right, Golovkin's in his prime. I mean, no one's touched him, let's be honest. Daniel Gill, I think, landed a punch on him. You thought, oh, something's happening here, and next thing you know, he was knocked out. You know, so it's terrific to have Gennady here. And as I said, you know, his team are great. Huge respect from them, and I think that's wonderful to see. As an upset, I think it ranks right up there. You know, we're digging back through the history books, aren't we? We're talking about Turpin and Robinson. We're talking about, you know, Hunnigan going out and beating Don Curry. We're talking about maybe even back to Mexico when Jose Napoles was beaten by John H. Tracy. It's those sort of events. But, you know, hey, last year Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko. Not many people thought he'd do that. And there was a sense of feeling on the days leading up and on the day, and the canvas problem, the gloves issue, and suddenly Tyson comes out and he's singing like Holyfield did when he went in against Mike Tyson with no fear. One person, one journalist picked Evander Holyfield to beat Mike Tyson. I haven't found one here that picks Kell Brook. But you know what? They got two arms, they got two legs, and in boxing, you never know. Yes, do I personally think it's an enormously hard task? Of course I do. That's why, if he does pull it off, it would be one of, if not the biggest upsets in British boxing history.
Would have thought, Adam, in 2015, we were all looking forward to a Khan Canelo in Wembley in the summer. We get, Khan Brook in the summer. We get Khan Canelo.
We were very close to making Khan Brook, and as I said, we don't get involved too much as broadcasters, but Eddie sort of needed me because obviously he's got Kell and Amir and the whole situation. So I was dealing with Amir, and he was really, really keen for the fight, but I didn't know that the Canelo situation was in the background, and I think, you know, he took a massive opportunity just like Kell is, and fair play to Amir. I would love to see Amir Khan and Kell Brook in the ring. And you know what? The likely scenario, I suppose, on Saturday, if Kell doesn't win, is that he puts on a great effort and he just comes up short. And you know what? Put him and Amir in next summer, we could do it. I would love that, and I think the British public would absolutely love that as well. So it's a shame Brook Khan didn't come off, but this is boxing, you know, it moves quickly. And, you know, listen, if Kell Brook wins on Saturday night, suddenly there's a new era. Yeah. If Golovkin wins, maybe he'll come back and fight Eubank, and we find something different. Yeah. But win or lose, Kell Brook will be in a really good place, I think, after this fight. His options are huge options out there. So.
Just finally, Adam, moving slightly forward, it was announced a couple of days ago that Fury-Klitschko is back on.
Yeah, brilliant.
Happy that finally he can get into the ring and
absolutely.
Almost a year now.
Absolutely. I think, you know, the first thing I did was I texted Peter Fury and I said, I'm genuinely delighted. You know, we haven't got it on Sky Box Office, but I'm genuinely delighted that they've got the fight. You know, I think Tyson's been brilliant for the sport. You know, again, like a sort of Nasvig, I love him or hate him, you want to watch him. You know, turns up to the press conference in Batman outfits. You know, he's something different, isn't he? He's a breath of fresh air. Absolutely. And you know what? He went on, and I was ringside, lucky enough to be ringside that night, and he was brilliant. You know, he outboxed Klitschko. Klitschko was stuck in the mud. You know, who'd have thought that from someone who was an Olympic gold medalist? You know, someone who'd basically been undefeated for 10 years. The reign was broken by Tyson Fury, this sort of maverick fighter. No one quite knew what was going to happen. I think it's wonderful. So I'm really pleased that the rematch is on. It's taken a long time. Maybe there's some tactics behind that. Klitschko's not getting any younger. But don't write off again Vladimir Klitschko. You know, he's going to surely be better than he was that night. Can Tyson Fury be even better? It's a mouth-watering rematch. And I want to just get it on because I want to see, if Fury does win that, I want to see Fury and Joshua in the ring. I want to see Wilder, Joshua. I want to see those big fights. David Haye's still floating around in the mix. Or if Klitschko wins, let's get AJ or Haye in with Klitschko again. You know, there's the merry-go-round of heavyweights. There's so many great fights to be made. AJ's back at the end of November. You know, you've got Joseph Parker out there. It's exciting times. And the David Haye, that sort of explosive character and puncher, still just sort of.
You mentioned that he's got Wembley booked again for next year. Let's say an ideal scenario is Tyson Fury wins next month. AJ wins on the 27th. AJ beats mandatory in March the 4th, I believe. He comes out June, July in Wembley. What is a bigger fight, AJ
Haye or AJ Fury? I debate that with myself most days. I don't know. Maybe for London, the Haye fight. Maybe for Britain, the Fury fight. Maybe for the world, a Wilder fight. I don't know what the biggest is. I just know AJ against Wilder, Fury or Haye. Sell out Wembley like that. What would I like to see? I think I'd like to see AJ Haye first, and if he beats Haye, AJ Fury probably. But if it's we go straight for
accept any one of those three.
Of course. Can you imagine Fury and Joshua Tussey? What I don't know if we'll see is Fury Hay because of all the problems with what happened.
Pass.
Exactly. I don't know if we'll see that, but there are many combinations. And I mean, if you're plotting AJ's path, you'd have him in against a Pulev, Stavern type character in November, then a Joseph Parker, maybe even go Joseph Parker earlier. Then in the summer, you'd have one of the big ones, but maybe leave Wilder for an American show, a Vegas debut or something. Wouldn't that be great? But Joshua's got a lot of work to do. He's won that world title, but he's not beaten the man like Fury did. So he knows there's a lot of work to be done. And Tyson Fury is unbeaten and as dangerous and difficult and awkward a heavyweight to fight as anyone out there. And I think what he achieved last year was phenomenal. We shouldn't take our eyes off that. That was brilliant. Can Kell Brook achieve something similar? Maybe, in many eyes, even greater, by beating or coming close to beating Gennady Golovkin? We wait and see Saturday night.
Adam Smith, thank you so much for giving me a few moments of your time. Always a pleasure speaking to you.
No worries.
And we should certainly catch up with you soon. Adam Smith for FightHype.com.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.